Okay, mic check, mic check. All right, so I think you guys can hear me okay, and we're getting started here. So, this is a live stream, and I normally don't do live streams, so you guys bear with me. And I am going to be flying the Marquis MU-2 by Tu- Toga Solutions. The plan today is to fly this Marquise from Grand Canyon National Park, which is where I'm at now, to Page to Glen Canyon, Page Municipal Airport in Arizona. Let's see, the flight is roughly, I guess, about wow, it looks like it's about 400 nautical miles. And I am going to use a path where I stay out of the canyon. The aircraft, because of the noise, they don't want me flying directly over the canyon. So yeah, so I am also using SimBrief to help me. Let's see. I'm not so sure you guys can see the full screen, so let me do some housekeeping stuff here. Let's see. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, this is what I wanted to do. Grab this. The reason why this is like this is because when I live stream, the video is doesn't live stream 4K very well, so I have to downscale my monitor, and that makes the area smaller. So I guess that's about right. Okay. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. The housekeeping there, and that should work out a little bit better. Um, the other thing that I'm not able to see is any chats. So um, give me a second. I'll be right back, and I am going to go get another computer. So hopefully I can see your chats. Um, or maybe I need to go to YouTube. Let's see. Let me just go pop into YouTube right quickly. May not even have the stream started. Okay, go live. Okay, so it says I'm live now, and I think I can see the chat on my alternative monitor. Let's see, yeah. At this moment, I can see that I don't have any any company, any any followers, so or any, yeah. So what I want to do, I want to minimize this, and looks like I've just maybe popped in one person who may be viewing. So yeah, I am. At least I got at least, I think at least one person in my co-pilot seat. If you're there, then say hello. I'm gonna try to monitor the chat, and there's my phone. So pardon me. All right. So I know that's annoying. Try to stop that. Okay, decline. All right. So we'll do that. All right. All right. So yeah, we're in the Mitsubishi MU-2 Grand Canyon to Page Municipal up near Glen Canyon. And Looks like this may be a fairly long flight. I was about to try and pour, um, oops, wrong button. I was going to try to, yeah, definitely the wrong button. Don't need to explain 12. This aircraft is only compatible at the moment with X-Plane 2, X-Plane 11, I mean. All right, so sim brief. Excuse me. So we'll get sim brief over here. Yeah, so the closest aircraft to sim brief is the King Air 200. So we're going to use that as our performance, the aircraft to get our performance numbers from. Okay, so the route that we're going to take, and I already created a route, that's going to be Grand Canyon, Grand Canyon. Let's see, there we go. And then we're going to go to a GPS waypoint called Plan DL, PLN DL, and from there we'll find the TBC, the Tango Bravo Charlie, Tuba City, VOR, and then we'll check out another waypoint, and then we'll do a, let's see, then we'll fly directly into PGA, and we want to do an arrival. Let's see, now I don't know if this will let me put, I don't think SimBrief will let me put in the arrival, um, or maybe it will, but I don't know how to, I don't know. All right, so let's analyze that, make sure that's going to work. Invalid response, so something in this plan it does not like. Let's see, between Tuba and Silly, I got a Victor 208, and yeah, so it doesn't look like it's going to validate that. Let's see, Papa Lima November Delta Lima, yeah, that's correct. All right, so let's see if that shows up in SkyVector. And all right, so it does show up in SkyVector. Let's go to VFR and SkyVector and zoom in on this guy, Grand Canyon. All right, there's my plan there. So if you guys want to take a look at the plan, this is what it looks like. And yeah, so this is what it looks like. Okay, so I'm noticing there is a great delay between what I'm doing and what's showing up on the screen. So just bear in mind, bear that in mind. All right, and let's minimize that. Let's quit X-Plane 12. We don't need two sims running. And that gets us back into X-Plane 11. Let's pop X-Plane 11 back up. And wow, screen is not, it's not right all of a sudden. So yeah, part of what I'm doing, guys, to be honest with you, is working out some kinks. And so I am streaming. I got a 4K monitor, and I'm streaming. Let me go back to my 4K monitor. Yeah, that looks like what I'm gonna have to do. All right, so graphics. And once I change back to the 4K monitor, I'm gonna have to readjust the recording software screen. All right, custom. So I had chosen 1600 by 200 at 60 hertz, but I think my sim and everything prefer to have this setting here. All right, so now you guys can only see a portion of what I'm seeing, so I am gonna have to grab the edges of this guy and pull it in. Yeah, see, that's the way it should be looking. And that's the way it's looking. So I'm just going to use X-Plane here. All right. So that fixes that. All right. Because I didn't readjust that. All right. So back in 4K, I hope the software can handle that without creating a lot of havoc. Let's see if I can't take a gander on what it might look like in the software. It looks like it might look okay. So yeah, we'll keep going with it. All right, so moving on here. All right, and it's Sunday afternoon, of course, in Bakersfield. I'm sorry, Grand Canyon. It's Sunday morning, and let's get this guy on the road. Let's jump in the cockpit. All right, and that's mighty close up on it, isn't it? All right, so like I said, I made some changes, and that looked like it's changed up some views. That's what I want. Okay, that's better. All right, so this is the cockpit of the Mitsubishi MU-2. I've got pretty much the standard six pack. I've got the the Garmin 530, the 430, and a transponder here, and of course I got my lights and the icing at the top. If it was nighttime, then I could turn on some this overhead light using this button here. Okay, a little quick primer. The the throttle pedestal contains my condition levers and my power levers. I am rocking, guys, the turbine jet engines, the TPE 331s. And one thing that I've learned about the Mitsubishi is this was one of the first plane that was purposefully built with turbine engines, designed to fly with turbine engines. Most aircraft up until the point this aircraft was built was based on a piston engine cousin, but this one never had was not based on a piston engine version. It was based solely on a turbine engine. All right, so let's get started here. And because I'm streaming, I am going to use the Avatab, if it works, to go through my checklist. All right, so here's the power button. Good deal. We got some power on that guy. And let's go over to aircraft. And let's go to documents. And we'll get the Avatab checklist. All right, make that a little bigger so we can see it. And like I said, I'm in 4K, so that actually downscale stuff on 1080p and 2K monitors. So it might be a little tough to see, but if you can, maybe you can see it. All right, so we're gonna get started here. Okay, gear handle is down, check, and control lock is removed and stored. Parking brake, let's get that set. Okay, parking brake is set, check. Battery master can come on. I'm gonna get rid of this for a little while, and the battery master is keyed here. Now this master here is for the GPU, so we're actually gonna do a battery start. All right, battery is on, and the annunciator lights are as expected. Low fuel. Um, Left and right SRL fail, and the inverter is not on. All right, so we're gonna do what's called the battery isolation switch, and the only thing that we're looking for with this battery isolation switch is a small change on the amperage here. So let's do number 2 first. This corresponds to number 2, and you see how the amperage went down, and that shifted the load to battery number 1. So the load on battery number 1 actually went up. All right, and we're going to do the opposite with battery number 1. The load on number 2 is going to go up, and the load on number 1 is going to drop out. All right, so that's working as expected. All right, let's move on here to, let's see, that was the isolation switch, and the rest of stuff just deals specifically with that. Next page. All right, inverter switch can come, let's see, I'll get this so I can see it. Okay, the inverter switch can come on. Inverter annunciator went off, and some of my gauges that uses electricity came alive. Okay, so I just want to check my trims. Okay, so I got my nose up trim, and I'm sorry, that's not the trim. Trim is this guy here. So yeah, this is dead on center. This is on center, and this trim here. See this? I don't know if you can see it, but I got a little red line here that I need to get lined up with this gold bar. So if that's set, then my trims are set. So I'm happy with that. All right. All right. So trims are set. Flaps go to 5%, and 5% flaps. This green light indicate the flaps are up, and when it goes off, then I know I got some flaps in. All right, and inverter switch can go off, and batteries can come on. Now, I've already battery main can go off. Is what I was trying to say. Battery switch can go off, but I'm not going to turn the battery switch on because the next page of the checklist has to do with an outside walk around, and I've already done all of that virtually. So I'm actually going to skip to before engine start, which is right here, next page, and then down to the top of the page. And here it says battery switch. The battery isolation switches are both in normal, battery switch on, and inverter is on. All of those conditions are already met, and no inverter fail light, so I am good there. All right, and now let's see, radio master switch are off. There's these guys in these gold cradles, and panel indicator lights. All right, so these are some checks that we're going to do. Panel indicator lights of this switch here, and this, we're going to turn that guy up and look at our indicator lights, and they're all working. This aircraft has actually 4 light tests, and just as a matter of safety, when I do that panel indicator light test, I like to go ahead and do the other light test too. Um, well, actually, the other light test is one of the light tests has to do with the autopilot. Can't really do that one, but I'm gonna go ahead and test this one. Make sure that all my overhead lights come on, and for the moment, we will stop at those 2 tests. Okay. Um, Master caution would be this guy, and I turn this guy on. I get my caution button, and let's see, master caution. All right, so that's my fire. Okay, there it is. When I hit that master caution, my annunciators should be lightening up, and there they are. All right, so when I move my cursor, I guess I was moving off of it for a second there. Just a sim thing. Okay. Master caution system is as expected. Reset this one. And fire warning test, which is this guy here. Okay. Left engine, right engine. Okay, check. And stall warning system. So let's do that, guys. Stall warning is here. And should be able to hear it. Yep. And I'm happy with that. Okay. Fuel quantity switch. And let's see how much fuel I got in this bad boy. I got pretty full tanks. So basically, I can't hold the switch and point my cursor at the same time. But if you look at the gauges below the cursor, then you'll see them going slowly down, and those are my fuel tests with my fuel test. It's simulating in my simulator that the fuel is being drained, and once I get below, I think it's 240 pounds, then I get a low fuel annunciator, which is on now. So if you look at my annunciator over on my left door panel, then you'll see a third light on, and when I let this fuel button go, it's going to go out. And so that worked, and my fuel quantities came back up. So yeah. All right. Fuel low level annunciator, which should be, I think it's going to be these 2 or either these 2. Let's see what they are. Fuel low level. Let's see. I didn't see those annunciators. My bad. I'm thinking of the outer test. But yeah, the low level annunciator is back on the door panel, and then the outer test is the one that I get the annunciators on either side of the button. All right. And let's see, yep. Next, and we're going to check our condition levels. Just make sure that they have free movement. Okay. All right. And we're going to do the same with power. Yep, I'm okay with that. And flight controls, we'll box those. Now, the MU-2 uses spoilers rather than ailerons, so that means that that it turns a little differently, and as a result, I don't have to have a 45-degree angle. But let me just show you what it uses to turn. One moment, please. I've got somebody at the door, so as it would happen, they would come when I'm streaming. One moment. Be right back. Okay, guys, thanks for your patience there. Anyway, I was telling you about the spoilers, and this is how the airplane turns. Now, this you would think that the spoilers would cause drag. Well, one of the reasons why they put the spoilers up here, because you see these flaps, see how large they are. These are some massive flaps, and they actually extend the wing 25%. In fact, the wings span on this big aircraft is only 3 foot longer than the wingspan of a Cessna 172. Go figure. So basically, the wing of a 172 is almost the same size as the wingspan on this aircraft. Since the wings are so small, then they can't hold a lot of fuel, so we put in the fuel in the tip tanks on the outside. Anyway, little bit of trivia, a little bit of extra information on the MU-2. All right, so where were we? Flight controls, trim controls are set. We already checked those, and rotating beacon can come on. All right, so I always like to turn on my fasten seat belts, my no smoking sign, and my beacon at the same time. If it was night, I would turn on my navs. Okay, let's see, where are we here? All right, so we've got the let's see, we're on the checklist. All right, so we're going to go through to the next checklist. Let's see. Yep, go just to the next page. And this is our first flight of the day. And with the first flight of the day, we'll start the engines with the feather valve and the NTS check. If it wasn't the first flight of the day, then we could actually start the engine without the NTS check. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the feather test started. So what I'm gonna do, let's see, I know this is hard to read, and I don't expect you to read it unless I zoom in on it. All right, so left unfeather switch, my left beta light will come on, and then I want to move it to the emergency stop. My left beta light would go out and move it back to the normal range, and the left beta light should come back on. I'm sorry, move the condition level back to taxi, and the left beta light should come back on. And then I can release the unfeather switch. All right, so you got that? I hope so, because it took me a while to be able to figure out what they were talking about. All right, so we're using condition. All right, so we're going to hit that left beta. And I actually got these. Let me move this so you can see that unfeather switch. But I actually got these tied to keyboards. So I got a keyboard for left, and right. Yeah, there's my right. All right, so gonna hold that left beta switch. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna hold that left beta switch. Gonna go to reverse, and that's Y. Let's see. And see if I can get it down to the emergency stop. I think it's the emergency stop that we want. Let's see. Yeah, I think I changed that key. All right, so I'm gonna hold that, get it down. There we go. And see, it went out. I didn't mean it. Well, I got it set so both of them happened at the same time, and it came back on so I can release the switch. Do the same thing with the right one. That's the letter J on my keyboard. So right beta light is on up there, and bring that down to 0. To emergency stop, it comes off, it goes off, and then bring it back up, and it comes back on. So that worked as expected. And let me, yeah. Okay, so And in real life, both of them wouldn't move, but I've got a key that drops both of the condition levels down to emergency concurrently, which is why both of them moved. All right. Now, what's next? Let's go back to our checklist. And so we just finished this guy, and we'll go to the next page. And we'll do our fuel valve switch. Main fuel valve switches open, which this is extremely important if we want to start the aircraft. SRL switches. Now, this is the NTS check. SRL switches can go on, which they tend to stay on by default, and propellers are on the locks. Okay, next, power levers slightly forward. So power levers slightly forward, and power levers slightly forward, a flight idle, and then we want to turn both. So I got to either change views so I can see what I'm trying to look at. So we want to turn both of these on run and crank. Okay, and let's see, make sure that they both went up. Like one didn't go up. There we go. And slightly forward. Okay. And then we'll start our right engine first. So we want to turn this guy onto our right engine. All right, next, we want to press and hold our unfeather switch. Our beta range light will come on. We're going to do our right one first. So I think that's this light, and this is our left light. And we want to continue to hold that unfeather switch, and then when the ignition, see, on ignition, the EGT should rise. We're doing the left, so this gate should rise on ignition. We will see it give the aircraft fuel automatically, and this light, see, I'm sorry, we're doing our right first. Well, we start on our right engine. So this light should go off, and the illumination of the beta annunciator, once this light goes off, then we can release this switch. And there's even more. Stay tuned, there's more. And then the power levers slightly above ground idle, that will be already done prior to 50%. We want to check to make sure that she's getting oil pressure and 60% RPMs. SRL fail annunciator should go off. Let's see, and engine instruments we'll check, and we'll repeat the same. We'll turn our generator on and then repeat the same for the left engine. So it's a whole lot of stuff to do in a very short period of time. So let's do it. Okay. So we're going to press and hold the unfeather. Let's see. No, we're going to press and hold the engine start switch. Okay. And then we're going to press and hold the unfeather. Okay, we got that in. I don't see that unfeather switch going in. All right, so this is off. ITT is coming up. Oil pressure check. Oil pressure is coming up. And so we've got RPMs, and it is extremely tough for me to check everything as I do, to run through everything that I need to run through as I'm supposed to. Now, I got a treat coming up because MU-2 Marquise, a real world Marquis. I don't know. I call it. I want to pronounce this the way it's spelled. An MU-2 Marquis, a real world M2U Marquis pilot and YouTube streamer is going to walk me through starting this aircraft and flying it sometime in the next week or two. So stay tuned for that, and which is one of the reasons why I am doing this stream, because we intend to stream that live. Hopefully we can do it. We can stream it on both his channel and my channel. We will work it out before we actually do the stream. Anyway, I got engine 2 started, and I need to turn that generator on. And we're gonna do engine 1. So we're gonna do the same with that. So we're gonna press and hold this. Let me go back through this one more time. Unfell the switch, press and hold. That would be this button. It's actually hidden here. This button here. I say here, it's right here by the unfeather, so you see me press and hold that. When I do, the beta light will come on. That's how you know that I'm pressing it and holding it. Alright, and ignition, we'll see our EGT rise on this guy here. Let's see, yeah, this is my EGT, and we're doing our left engine this time. Let's see, SRL fail annunciator should come on, which is not on yet, and our exhaust gas temperature, we'll monitor that, and yeah, so it's a lot of things that we're going to watch out for. All right, so let's just do this. All right, the beta light is on. All right, looking for EGTs to start to go up. You know what, guys? Nothing happened because I did not turn the left ground starter button on. Gotta have that guy on. All right, so let's start over here. All right. So our feather is held and our beta light is on. All right, here we go. And EGTs is coming up. The SRL light fail has been extinguished, or pressure is coming up, and light is off. Let go of the unfeather button and turn on our generator. All right, so we've got that done, and so we got our engine started, and the air start selector switch need to go to the middle position. All right, and we are looking good. All right, so next page. Now, start the engine without the NTS, we can skip that. So we can skip that page, skip that page, skip that page, skip that page, and we're actually, let me just go back one page, make sure that we hadn't skipped anything. Annunciator panel, let's see. Both, let's see, let me make sure that I didn't skip anything, because I think this is all starting the engine. Okay, yeah, so I think all of this was starting the engine with the SRL switch. Okay, so we'll start here at the overspeed governor check. I wish that was bold so I know to skip directly to that, but just kind of got to know. All right, overspeed governor check. Condition level is set to taxi, so we're gonna move that up to takeoff, land, and the engine pitch is not changing. That's exactly what we want, and we'll move the left power button up, and nothing's happening, we actually might get a small increase in torque and a small increase in torque here. Wonder why my torque values are so different. Bring them back down to flight idle. Okay, so yeah, I don't know why my torque values are so different. All right. Anyway, more will be more. When I don't know something, I always say more will be revealed. More will be revealed. All right, and let's see. So yeah, we've done that. All right. All right. So looks like we are at our before taxi checklist. Okay. So um, guys, I am going to take a little break, and I'm going to take 10, and I should be right back. So just got to figure out how to stop my camera. And I'm going to mute my mic, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I am back. You know how in Hollywood they have those big do not recording in session signs? Well, that's what I need when I'm doing these live streams, right? so, so yeah, that's what I need, a big sign that says recording, do not disturb, or anyway, streaming. All right, so let's keep going here. Now, I'm doing this stream from scratch. That means that when I started, I started cold and dark, and nothing had been prepared. All right, so radio masters can come on, and transponder can go to standby. Its transponder is booting up. All right, there we go. It's on standby, so I'm happy with that. Flaps can go to 20%. And we started off at 5. When the flaps are in transition, well, I saw a little yellow light, and I thought it might have been in transition, but maybe not. Okay, propellers take off the locks. So before I take the propellers off the locks, then, well, I need to build my flight plan. Now, I actually did, you know what, guys? I actually put the flight plan in SimBrief. So maybe, just maybe, I can generate the flight plan from SimBrief and import it. So let's see. Try this, see if I can't share some of what I'm doing with you. If I can open up the right window. You ever have windows open, you start clicking on stuff, and you're just clicking and clicking and not clicking the right thing. I am having a brain fart. Okay, I'm looking for the browser page. Actually, what I want to do, okay, no, I'm looking for the recording software, and what I want to do is turn on this so that hopefully you can see the browser page. SimBrief. All right, so I think right now you can see a part of it. So yeah, so all right. So this is my plan, and it actually didn't validate. Let's see, North America, and so I'm somewhere near Las Vegas. Anyway, I am gonna see if this will work. So I am gonna go up to top page and generate this flight plan. And that might be because I didn't put in my destination, PGA, and SimBrief oftentimes give me a altitude that might be, shucks, look at that, it killed my flight plan. And I typed that manually, so that was K, let's see, KGN, let's see, okay, so this is kind of what it is. Victor 208, we do know we want that, but we want to stay out of because of the noise, we want to stay out of the Grand Canyon, so they are forcing us to fly further south than we'd like to. Then we want Tuba City, and once we get to want to exit the Victor at Sealay, and then direct to PGA. Let's see if that'll validate now. Oh yeah, it did validate. Okay, so let's generate that. Now, again, this says I'm using the King Air 200. The King Air 200 performance numbers are fairly close to to the MU-2, so that's why I'm using it to generate my flight plan. Alright, so let's check our fuel. Now, I should have did this really and truthfully before I started, but it says I'm going to need block fuel 1,100 pounds of fuel, and I would check that in a minute. Well, again, the King Air has a greater range than the Mule, but the Mule is actually faster than the King Air. So I think I got enough fuel in there. All right. You know, in real life, you don't want to be thinking. You really want to know what's what, right? So I get it. I get it. Let's see. What am I looking for? All right. And let's see. Okay. All right, so let's go. Dispatcher was Marcus Travis, and I'm the pilot. All right. And I'm back to looking at stuff and wondering what the heck am I doing? All right, so Sky Vector, not Sky Vector, but Sim Brief, and I actually want to go back. So I guess I want to close that window up. Go back to here. This is my plan, and then I want to download this into my directory. Download Explain, that's Explain 12, Explain 11, output FMS plans, and we'll download it here. And I like to put a dash in here sometimes so I can see what's what. Okay, Glen Canyon to Page. All right, save that. Now I can get rid of this guy, and yeah, so now what I can do, guys, is import that guy, right? So if I go to menu, let's see now. And this is the next challenge. All right, so I'm gonna go to, let's see, there we go. And it's gonna be the second one. So I'm gonna highlight the thing so it'll move and enter that one, and voila, I got my flight plan imported. Yay, something finally worked right? Okay. All right, so that's our route today, and that probably took as long as it would if I'd have typed all these in manually, but hey, it is what it is. All right, next, we'll take these props off the lock, and that's really simple. What we want to do is we want to take the power and move it down into reverse, and the prop should come off the locks. And what being on the locks mean is that the props are turning, but they actually are not really creating any thrust. So as you can see, they are turned, but they are not biting in the air really. All right, and the other thing that I do want to do while I'm thinking about it is go ahead and put these headphones on. All right, so that might help in terms of being able to hear me over the engines. And let's see, so let's get these props off the lot. I should have left those headphones on so you can hear these engines. In fact, let me just take them off just for a second, because I want you to be able to hear these engines when I take these headphones, when I take these props off the locks. All Alright, for some reason these are not matching up perfectly, so I don't know what's going on with that. Alright, so I'm going to go to reverse, and let's do that one first. Alright, that one is off. Then we'll do the same with the right engine. You can see it bounce up over the gate. Now I can pull it down, so I have a key on the keyboard to allow me to get it over the gate. I have to do it again because my beta light is still on, so that means it didn't come off. Alright, it's off. Maybe it did come off. Alright, so the props are off the lock. So that means that when I get ready to taxi, she's going to want to taxi. Alright, and landing lights as required. Landing lights as required. So we're going to turn our taxi lights on, and no strobes yet. In this part of the country, really don't need pitot heat, but it's probably not a bad idea to always turn your pitot heat on. All right, and you know, that kind of thing could be an operator thing. Some operators may require that you turn on your pitot heat, some may not. A lot of times the MU is owner operated, so yeah, that's up to the owner. All right, and one thing that I must have missed is, you see my condition levels are still at takeoff climb, and let me just go back and see if I missed that somehow. Vote, yeah, because I didn't check my voltage, which is here. So yeah, I'm okay on voltage. Pressurization system. I haven't decided what I'm gonna fly yet, but I do have to have this guy on both. Otherwise, if I climb above 13,000 feet and stay above that, then I become hypoxic, and finally I black out. And this aircraft do simulate the blackout. In fact, somewhere along the line I've got a video up showing the blackout, showing me blacking out, because for a long time I couldn't figure out how they get the pressurization system to actually work. Speaking of pressurization, let's see, rate 0, just want to make sure that this stuff makes sense. Cabin altitude, let's see, let's set that for, let's see, okay, so this is the max. All right, so yeah, all right, it's 15, all right, so I'm not really sure what is the best settings for the pressurization for this airplane. Okay, fuel switch is auto. Now this too is a very important part of the chat list, because if I don't turn this to auto, then I'm going to burn fuel only out of the mains, only out of the main tank versus out of the wing tip tanks. Now the way that I'm gonna pop out for a second. I'm gonna pop out for a second. So the way that this fuel system in this aircraft works is that I got fuel in my tip tanks. I got fuel here in my wing tanks. Then I got a main tank that feeds directly to the props. Okay, so the way it works is fuel drained from the tips into the main, and then from the outer into the main, and then from the main glass. So if I don't turn it on auto, then the little small reserve that's in my main will burn up, and I could find myself losing an engine in flight because of fuel starvation. which is something that I don't want to do. All right. So yeah, these buttons are pretty important. All right, oil temperatures are in the green. All right, and annunciator panels are clear. I still didn't see anything that told me to turn my condition to taxi, but I am gonna go ahead and bring it down to taxi, and that way when I do my, okay, maybe I missed this, engine check, flight instruments, navcom, transponder, um, and yeah, I do need to set the navs, the comms up. All right, anybody know the the frequency for Grand Canyon? All right, so for me, the easiest way to get that is just jump into Sky Vector, pull up an airport diagram. ATIS is 124.3, and let's see. Pop that in, and tower is 119.0 and ground is point 0.9. I always have to remember I'm gonna talk to ground first, even though I'm not really using ATC. But if you can never remember which to put in first when you're setting up the comms, then the first people you're going to talk to are the ones that you want to program first. And after years of simming it, I finally am trying to drill that into my head. All right, so let's pop this down. All right, so point 0.9. And 121. All right, I'll talk to them first, and then tower is 119.0. Could have went the other way. All right, and my tail number is 844 Whiskey Sierra. Okay. All right, so we got that set, and let's go ahead and turn our COM1 radio on, and let's listen to our ATIS. (124.3) on COM2, 124.3. I'm not hearing the ATIS. Turn COM1 off for a second. Well, when you know. 124.3, COM2. Volumes are up. Let's just check volumes here. Yeah, volume should be up. Huh. Well, here's what it is, right? All right, so we'll get our weather. Let's see. I should have real weather on. I've seen people use not ATC. That's the wrong button. Use the map to get ATIS. I've never seen them do that, but I don't really know how they do that, right? All right, so I'm streaming. This is not the time to be learning. All right, so yeah, there's another way I can get it. I can just go to weather here. I do have real world weather, and the altimeter is 3003, winds 143 at 3. So yeah, resume flight 3003. And 3003. Now, the barometric button is seem to be on the opposite side. You know, I tend to want to use this one for the barometric. Let's go ahead and tune the back up here. 1003. Okay, that one is already set, and they are independent, so I don't think set one sets the other. Okay, so 500 feet is the fill, and that is consistent with what I'm seeing on the chart. I'm actually looking at the chart right now and trying to see what the field elevation is, and it's actually saying 6609, so that's not consistent at all. Why is I'm showing 500 feet when it should be 6,600 feet? Another question. So I'm not getting a cross check on that, and that I don't like. Yeah, so let's see. I'm gonna go back out here one more time, guys, and look and see. 3003, and last updated 14 minutes ago. Go ahead and refresh that just now, and nothing changed. Okay, apply changes. Yeah, so let's see what this one says. Okay, so this one actually is about right. 3003. Actually, I do need to set it. 3003 is about right there. And 500. Yeah. Okay, so field elevation is 6609, so that's 6,000 feet. Huh. And where is something that would indicate 6,000? Don't see it on that side. This tick here. Okay, so I'm not gonna dwell on that, but it's always something that teaches you in flight simulation, and so that's this. That means this flight I gotta revisit, so maybe I can learn something, right? Okay, so. But I don't want to spend a lot of time learning that, you know, while I'm doing the stream, because part of the stream is, well, a good pilot is always learning, but part of the stream is entertaining you guys and keeping you engaged. So hopefully at some point one of you guys will leave a comment to engage me, but if not, then I'm cool with it. All right, so we've already been through our before taxi checklist. Props off the locks, landing lights or taxi lights are on, and toe brakes set, and release the parking brake. Parking brake is released. Clear to the left, clear to the right. And I need to determine just how the heck I'm gonna get out of here. Right, so winds are 143 and 3. And all right, let me put my headset back on so you guys are only gonna hear that noise when I pop out. All right, headset is back on. And so you guys are only gonna hear that loud noise when I pop out. All right, so let me go back in the sky vector, and I got runways 21 and 03, and winds were 143 at 3. So 14 is closer to 21 than 3, so we're going to use runway 21. All right, so we're going to taxi to Papa. Brakes are in. Taxi, and we're off the locks. And see, do we have chucks on? All right, so tell the marshals to remove the chucks. The marshals, and let's get this guy down. So we get the chucks off. The reason I got the chucks on, I normally don't even bother with chucks, but when I spun in, this airfield has a slope, and I spun in, and the thing started rolling, and it rolled back, and this is where I wound up at. So I should have been up there, but I'm down here, and actually came in at a gate, which is not cool. All right, brake, right brake, brakes are working. And let's see, we want to figure out how to get to 21. I think this is the runway over to the left. And she would taxi like a bat out of Hades. So and she is super smart, super quiet with these headphones on. I cannot hear any engine noises at all. All right, let me make sure I'm going the right way. Let's see, so I want 2-1, and in order, let's see, 2-1 is, I'm pointed at almost at 2-1 right now. Let me see. Ah, shucks, I'm at Bakersfield. Oh my God. All right, guys, I'm at Bakersfield, and I'm sitting here doing everything for, talk about a brain freeze. All right, so, counselor. So how do we salvage this? All right, so let's just change location to the Grand Canyon, right? And we're gonna spawn in on the on 2-1 Grand Canyon. All right, and we'll spawn in on 2-1. All right, and she's not gonna spawn in with all the stuff that we got, all the checks that we've done. So I am going to go through this stuff without a checklist and just kind of get the aircraft ready for flight again. I think I may have started it up enough to know what I can skip, like, you know, a lot of the checks. I don't have to go back through, like checking the yeah, a lot of the checks I don't have to go back through. All right, so just waiting on it. All right. And all right, so battery master can go on, and fuel pumps, fuel can go on, turn these guys on. We'll do the right engine first. Hold that feather button down and hit that guy. Let me set the parking brake. Alright. That's something that's important. Something sounds terrible. Alright, so yeah, something sounds terrible. Oh! Why is it sounding like that? Alright, well, okay, I think whatever it was just resolved. Alright, main generators. Ignore this part, guys. This is not the way you do this. Alright, 6,200 feet. Alright, finally something looks like it should. Remember, that's why I was getting 500 feet. I couldn't figure that out. Alright, turn these tanks to auto. And let's go ahead and we're on the runway, so we'll go ahead and turn our strobe lights on and our pitot heat. Yeah, guys, I'm taking a lot of shortcuts here. And of course, you would not want to start a $750,000 aircraft the way I just started it in real life. Okay, let's put this on safe. Uh-oh, that's happening again. Let me take the chucks off. Get the chucks off. You know, it could be wind. Could be wind. Let's see. I always have to pull this out to get it so I can see everything. And doesn't move. There we go. Get rid of the chucks. And now, hopefully it held my get that flight plan back. Man, that's terrible. I was at the wrong airport with all this planning. Okay, so it did retain my plan. Thank God for small blessings, right? And that's why I couldn't get an ATIS, because I was way out of range. Okay, did it retain my radio? Let's see.
Grand Canyon National Park Information Sierra 000 Zulu weather. Wind 050 at 10, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 15, dew point 8. Altimeter 3038. Arriving runway 03, departing runway 03. Advise on initial contact you have Sierra.
Alright, so I'm gonna back taxi to 3 here. Let's get rid of these brakes. And of course, again, this is something.
Grand Canyon National Park Information Sierra.
Rid of this.
000 Zulu weather.
Okay, so it's the winds were 03 at 10. They were up there. They were 10 knots in some direction for 05 at 3, I think. I didn't actually write it down. Let's see. I've got some lights here. Outer tip tanks empty. Shucks, that means that I need to put some fuel in some of these tanks. Let's see. The customize. The only way I know to refuel this guy's using X-Plane, and we'll do it this way. And tank, center tank, a little gas in that, a little fuel. Still call it gas, old school. That's an hour and 23 minutes worth of fuel. Probably want to go a little bit longer on fuel, right? Hour and 23 minutes. That's let's get at least 2 hours of fuel in it. All right, that's close enough to 2 hours. I'm happy with that. Okay. And that got rid of the fuel lights. My props are on the locks, so I need to get them off the locks. And I'm going to do both of them at the same time this time. And they're off the locks. Toe brakes are set. Parking brake is fixed. We should be pretty much ready to go. Flaps 20, and let's back tax it to 03. All right. Glen Canyon Tower, MU-2 Whiskey Sierra is back taxiing runway 03. And one thing about the runway at Glen Canyon is that the runway is rough. You can see the aircraft. It is not a smooth runway by any stretch of the imagination. One thing I do like about the MU, however, is that it has the cockpit. It has a super smooth shock absorbing system. Well, see how maybe it's not so smooth. The airplane rocks, but I think it's pretty cool being sim and it's doing that. But yeah, you see how this runway is a challenge within itself. I've had some sim planes that have a tough time on this runway because it's got all these divots and whatnot in it. All right, so pull that power out, and all right, so I still got a little bit to go before I get to the end of this thing. I think I've got, yeah, I'm pretty sure I've got a custom scenery package for Glen Canyon. Not sure it's paid well. But when I'm accelerating off this thing, you know, I'm rocking and rolling because all these dips and divots in this runway. All right, so we get turned around here.
Approaching runway, entered runway 03, 8,700 feet remaining.
We get it there. We get get it there. Come on, Susie. Come on, Susie Q. Line me up. I wanted to line up with the momentum of the engines. Let's see, where are we on the runway? Close to the center line, are we? All right, so the center line is this yellow here. All right, and I gotta believe that it's easier to taxi this guy in real life, because she would taxi, you know, constantly on the brakes to keep us slowed down. And if I go into reverse, then I'm literally taxiing at about 3 miles per hour, which is probably a good taxi speed, but it can feel mighty slow. All right, so let's go to tower. And okay, Grand Canyon Tower, Mitsubishi 844 Whiskey Sierra is at runway 03, ready to depart VFR to Page. And clear for departure 844 Whiskey Sierra. So we'll climb on up to let's see, we're going east. East is I, so we'll go 13.5. All right, let's do it. Bring that up. Landing lights come on. Since I'm in the sim, and it's daytime, I should have just left the landing lights off. All right, here we go, guys. Flaps 20, check. I want to rotate at about 100. This guy on so you can see what I'm doing. Yoke. So I got that left rudder pushed in, and I'm banking to the left, trying to keep it over the runway. So that's why I say this aircraft can be a beast. Off the rudder. All right, and flaps 5. Gear up. Oh Lord, let me get in the cockpit so I can see what I'm doing. Close. My passengers just barfed all 5 of them back there. They screaming and they want out of this death trap. And even me, okay. So let me go to reset this caution, turn my yaw damper on. Off the rudders, because my rudders were at 0. Okay, and let's fly to this first waypoint. So we want turn our autopilot on. aperture 13.5. Alright, so I'll select and vertical speed and so at this point it's the autopilot has the airplane. You get those headlights retracted before I get too fast. And let's go to flap 0. Okay, there's our airport. And let's look at our flight plan from the outside. And yeah, so we are in the process of capturing that. And we're turning on course. All right. Vertical speed is on. And I think I got vertical speed set for around 700. Alright, but look at our airspeed, so we can actually increase that a great deal. And so if you're asking me how can I tell where my vertical speed is set, I don't really know. I'm using the alpha yoke. I'm sorry, the Bravo yoke to set the vertical speed. And so I'm setting it, looking at where it settles on the climb, and if it's not about where I want it, then I set it again. I think the last video I watched of a guy, a real life pilot flying the MU, he tended to want to climb out around 1100. So right now I'm at about 15, so I'm slowing it down a little bit. Yeah, so, and he did mention around that most pilots like to climb out between 180 and 200. So yeah, I can live with, I guess I can live with about 15. Well, I still got takeoff, landing on the condition, so let me move that to max. Well, I'm not in cruise yet. Yeah, I'm not in cruise yet, so I'm going to leave that full forward. Check my engine instruments, torque look okay. Exhaust gases look okay. Fuel flow look okay. RPMs are definitely okay, or temperatures are in the green, or pressure look okay. Fuel pressure looks good. And fuel quantity is okay on the mains, okay on the outers, and it's really hard to see the tips, but the tips are okay also. Alright, so I'm gonna lower my nose just a little bit, pick up a little speed, because I want them at least 180. And let's look outside. Let's see what it looks like out there. Okay, so I just got to my first waypoint, making that turn. There's the Glen Canyon off to the side there. I am going to do a flyby. Zoom. I love that sound. All right. And the lights are retracted and off. And let me get back in the cockpit, make sure that the aircraft ain't doing something out of the ordinary. looking at the GPS, and yep, I am still on course. Flying the heading, not on standby. Still trying to capture 13.5 is what I want to capture. My capture light is illuminated, so that means it is going to capture that altitude. Alright, so as we're approaching cruise, I am going to pull back on the condition levels. I'm going to fly max cruise. And our airspeed should inch up. One thing about this aircraft is you can basically keep the RPMs. I keep the power levers almost at takeoff. If you look here, then it's where I really want to do is keep them just below 100 on the RPMs, and look at my airspeed coming up. And bear in mind, guys, this is a prop, and I'm indicated at what, almost 220. Taking some of the Glen Canyon. And again, the reason why we're not directly over the canyon is, uh-oh, I got a caution here. Let's see what's happening. And cabin pressure is low. Let's see. So, oh yeah, I did restart the aircraft, and I did miss turning this guy on both. So I can reset that. My cabin pressure ought to come up now. On this annunciator, and if it's not off in about 5 minutes or so, then I'm gonna drop 2,000 feet. I am flying VFR, so I don't have to talk to anybody to get permission to drop. So yeah, and we are on our way to Page near Glen Canyon. Ground speed is 270 knots, and I'm flying to the east, towards the east, so I may have somewhat of a tailwind. So yeah, our next turn is coming up. Next turn is coming up in 14 nautical miles. All right, so one thing I should do is go ahead and tune for Page. So ASOS is 120.62. So let's get 62 down in here. And 120. I guess we can go ahead and flip that in. And CTAF is 122.8. And approaching that turn in 5 nautical miles. And we'll go ahead and switch to the frequency for Page and monitor guard. All right. So yeah. And I did you guys a disservice because I guess there was a lot in the cockpit. Some things in the cockpit we couldn't see until they changing the pressures. So apologies for that. All right. So we just made our turn, and we've got 26 nautical miles to Soleil, and at Soleil we will start our descent down into Page. Page is at an altitude of 4,300 feet, so 53 is going to be our pattern. Not going to change this to 53 yet. I'll wait till at least till I get the Soleil. All right, and I still got that low. I got this low light on in spite of having turned the cabin air outlet and switched to both. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop 2,000 feet to 11.5. Out of abundance of caution. 500 feet a minute. And we're a good ways away from the barber pole. Away from our overspeed.
Destination ASOS is 120.625.
Thank you, Happy Help. For Mr. 4 Flight, Happy Help. I missed 4 Flight. Anyway, we are lowering our altitude to 11.5 just because we got this low cabin annunciator, low cabin pressure annunciator. That fixed it. So yeah, not sure why turning it on both didn't fix it, but yeah, I'm happy as a lark again. No fear of epoxy of altitude sickness. Hypoxia. So, runway 33 is going to be the active, and we're going to overfly the field and do a teardrop entry to capture the downwind into 033. Okay, that's the plan. So on our descent down to 11.5, we are taking the speed, and so that's got us up to our close to our maximum structural speeds. And let's do a look outside. Apparently, I don't have my headphones on. Tell you what, let me turn that down just a tad. I know that's pretty loud, and you may not have been able to hear me when we were outside. Okay, let's get back in the cockpit, and yeah, let's just grab these headphones. All right, that's closed, and let's look in the back of the aircraft. So yeah, this guy has this four passenger club seating, and then the divan couch type seat. One thing that I am not clear on is whether the divan, and if you guys know the answer to this question, you can leave it in the comments, make me a little smarter, is whether the divan can be used as a takeoff chair. Um, the reason I don't know, because I say to myself, well, you know, if there's an abrupt stop or on, um, for some reason, you know, the neck will be snapping back and forth if something happens, and that wouldn't be good. So I don't think you can take off in the divan, but it does have a seat in the restroom that has the same issue. You know, I think that's also a seat that's on the side. So I didn't capture my 11.5 because I didn't hit the on button. So let's arrest the descent and do a slight climb here and capture 11.5. Let's see if this changes the cap. Alt select. Okay, that went away, so maybe it's capturing it. And I believe it is. All right, so yeah. One thing that I did forget to do, I know that when I'm streaming, lights are real hard to see from your perspective. They're not hard to see from my perspective, so it's always good to turn these instrument and panel lights up. And apologies, guys, because I neglected to do that, and that may make my panel a little easier to see. If it doesn't, then leave me a comment and tell me whether I need to make them less bright or more bright. I'm 3 minutes from Soleil, so I'm on course, and I could have done this flight from, you know, just flying VORs, but flying GPS is so much easier. There is a VOR at Page 117.6. So let's see, let's get down here. 117.6 and flip that in. Is it 1176? Yep, it's 1176. So, see, is there a nav2 instrument? All right, so let's flip this to here. Well, I wasn't trying to get nav. I was hoping to get a backup, just something to use as a backup DME. And yeah, so let's go on this side. And you can see flight. I've got Looks like I've got flight XP realistic turned off on the passenger side, on this side, so I'm actually gonna fix that right now. XP realistic control panel. Well, no. X camera is what I'm thinking of. So, X camera control panel, and I'm in cockpit view and show advanced XP realistic. There we go. That might make things a little bit more realistic, because when I'm looking out, when I'm sitting in the seats and looking out the window, then the aircraft do shake. All right, so that should be Soleil. Don't tell me I'm at, what the heck am I? Oh man, I'm at PG. I am not a good pilot, am I? I'm at my destination. Fat, dumb, and happy. Let's see. There's my destination there. I'm waiting to get the Soleil and then breeze through it. All right, my aircraft. Autopilot. Stand by. Let's see, stand by. There we go. And let's get our down. Let's see, shucks. I wasn't prepared for this. I was waiting on Soleil so I could start my descent. And I don't have capture on, but the autopilot still seemed to be engaged. So there we go. Disengaged. All right, it's my aircraft. And since we this close, might as well take a peek at Glen Canyon, right? So I don't have a map up of the area, and I do have forward flight, but I wasn't following the progress of the flight on forward flight. I was actually looking at the GTN and the 530, which anyway, I can talk to the cows come in, and I guess I don't really have a good excuse for for sneaking up on my destination. But this is Lake Powell. I think in real life the water levels are way down, and as patient as I try to be, I am so looking forward to explain to them getting the X-Plane 12 versions of these aircraft out. If any of you guys are wondering why we don't have the X-Plane 12 versions of a lot of these aircraft out yet, there are two reasons. Number one, the overarching reason is that X-Plane 12 is still in early access, so a lot of stuff is still subject to change. So the developers don't want to spend a lot of time, effort, and work tweaking for X-Plane 12 and then something drastically change in X-Plane 12. The aircraft that you're flying is broken, you're complaining, and they're scrambling to fix it. So yeah, they're waiting on X-Plane to get closer to a final. The other reason is because Laminar Research releases aircraft software development kits for the X-Plane 12 version, and right now the software development kit is version, I think it's version 4.01, which is also kind of a beta. So yeah, so there are some things that we are working out, that we, as if I'm a developer, but there are some things that are being worked out right now in X-Plane 12. Okay, so looking at my chat, I don't see any chat, so I guess you guys are extremely shy. Take a moment to say hi if you want, and if you want to give me a like, I would certainly appreciate that. All right, you might not want to like me or like this video until I land, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I find it super challenging to land this guy, and I also have lost the runway. So is it back this way? I don't see it. Alright, so it should be off my wing here. And why don't I see it? That's not it. There it is. Alright, so 50, what was it, 5100 was my pattern altitude, and I am dropping like it's hot. Whoa. Let me turn this guy on and try to back out a little bit. Alright. Alright, so there's some things that I want to do. I'm going to get that landing light on. 1, 2. And go ahead and turn taxi lights on. Alright, and I'm below pattern here, so I can come up. Alright, so what I want to do, I'm going to do a teardrop. I'm still going to do my teardrop on 3-3. So I'm going to overfly the runway, getting a little slow here. Getting a little slow, so give it some torque. Alright. I'm up to 55, 150 knots. So I'm a little bit too high. Alright. And I'm going to turn and do a teardrop entry into the downwind. Runway is 3-3. Okay. Still climbing. I got a tendency that I can't seem to break of pulling back on the yoke when I'm turning. It's alright, so give it a little torque here, hold my speed. And come on around. Come on, bring it on around. Come on around, big guy. Come off that speed a little bit. Here I am pulling back on that yoke. A love to pull back on that yoke, because when I look out the window and I see that plane going towards the nose. Okay, so my plan was to be coming in on a 45 here, but not quite on that 45. Allows a teardrop, but turn downwind here. Okay. Watch my speed. All right, let's get configured for landing. And this is where I always fail to bring up a checklist, but I want to go continuous ignition on. All right, come on, guys. Come on, come on, come on, come on. All right, continuous ignition on. Flaps 5. I'm below 150, so let's drop that landing gear. Landing lights are already deployed. And go ahead and turn base in the funnel. Oh man, I'm overshooting the runway. So I'm gonna have to make a really hard turn here. Really hard. This may be a go around, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to get stable before I think I'm overshooting the runway big time. And where is the runway? Where is the airport? I see a red light. See, I done lost the airport, guys. Yep, so I lost the airport. Poor situational awareness, right? All right, so. All right, let's try that again. All right, so. Let's find the airport. That's job 1. All right. Get in the aircraft and see where I'm at and what I'm doing. All right, little trim here.
500.
Yeah, we're a little bit low. And let's get them flaps out, landing gear up, so we can get resituated here. All right, so in terms of my entry, well, first of all, I need to find the airport again. All right, so and do know I want to land on 3-3. All right, so I'm at 5,300. Trim that nose down and try to get some situation awareness here. Find the airport, and then we might be able to land this bad boy. Okay, we're trying to come into Page Airport at Glen Canyon in Arizona. And Page Municipal. I had the airport in sight at one point, and I lost it. So I'm trying to bring it get it back in sight. I am doing a VFR flight. I got a terrible habit. Let's see, I see something down there. Is that my airport? Could very well be, unless it's something else. All right. Let's see. And we flew right over top of the airport at one point. Let's see if we can use our GPS to help us out. All right, range and get a little bit in. All right, so, oh man, look at our altitude, way too high. 2,000 feet over the airport. All right, is that the airport up there? It's getting dark too. Nope. You know, okay, we're over the top of the airport now. There it is. All right, so let's turn downwind and try to lose this altitude. Look at our airspeed, way too fast. And got to remember, on this aircraft, I am using spoilers rather than ailerons. All right, so I'm still trying to get down to 51. Should have the airport at my 6 o'clock. All right. And I'm actually putting it at my 4:30, 5 o'clock, so I can make a base turn and hopefully come on in and capture it. All right, let's get back in the landing configuration. So we'll go flaps 5 and gear down. Okay, our unsafe light comes on whenever our gear door is open. So
500.
And I'm lost too much of my altitude. So let's see if I can make this turn. And I want to turn to 3-3. And pick up to about 5,000 on the, all right, so I'm gonna hold it about right here. Come on and bring her around. And see, now there's my runway there. Okay. All right. And the lights coming, because it's getting dark at Glen Canyon, all right, Page Municipal, that helped a lot. All right, flaps 20. So that helped me find my runway, which is right here, in case you guys can't see it. Because trust me, I had the hardest time seeing it. Okay, flaps 20, gears down. Landing lights are deployed. Getting a little slow. All right, let's get lined up for it. All right. And we'll bring her in.
1 mile final runway 33.
1 mile final. All right. Here we go, 500 feet a minute. And in we go. I never did listen to the ADA, so I don't know whether I got a crosswind component. I do know that that the winds are favoring 3-3. All right. flaps. Put in that flaps pretty much at the wrong time and create a bunch of float. Whoa, it didn't like that too much. All right, and try to get these. I gotta work out stuff so I can go into reverse rather than ride my brakes, because I literally wrote these brakes down to stop the aircraft rather than finding reverse. All right, so condition come down to taxi, and the thing with this aircraft is I have to lift I have to lift the power levers over the gate. All right, so I have to have the power levers slightly forward, a flight idle, find the key on my keyboard, which in my case I got it assigned to the letter U. So I got to find the right place, hit the letter U, and then bring it down and try not to bring it up too far. Okay, so now I'm in reverse, and I should taxi real slowly. So in this configuration, let's see, I can set this to taxi, and this is about as fast as it would taxi, which if I got, you know, a mile and a half or 2 miles of runway to taxi up, you know, it takes a long time. So I usually go over the gate, and once I go over the gate, then she want to taxi like a bat out of Hades, and so I have to ride those brakes to keep the speed manageable. Anyway, let's pull in and park, and I've got this really, really, really terrible, nasty habit of getting away from. Once I get airborne, a lot of times I'm hard pressed to refer back to my checklist. All right, I didn't clean up once I got off the runway, so I like to go FLTT, which is flaps. So get the flaps up, FL lights, get those off and retracted strokes and come off. Tax is still on, and TT is transponder and trim, and you know, transponder stayed at standby this whole flight. My bad. And we'll just take somebody's parking space. How about this one right here in front of us? We'll take this one. And yeah, transponder and trim. Whoa, see how she would take off like a bat when you come off those brakes and the throttle's over the gate. So anyway, guys, we are in Page. All right, so let's set the brake and look at, and before I shut her down, let's look at a replay of that landing. I'm not so sure I want to look at that replay, but I am. All right, so yeah, let's go back. And about right there. Let's go from there. And so the approach, after I got the plane under control, the approach actually, in my opinion, didn't look bad at all. On glide slope, according to the VASI there. And this is where I made a mistake. I dropped some more flaps. That gave me too much lift. If I'd have left the flaps alone, then I wouldn't have generated that extra lift. Did I pull the flaps up? Yeah, so, yeah. But looks like the flaps went away. Huh. This one, I pushed them down. Never went into reverse. Just standing on those brakes.
Entered runway 0725.
Okay. So let's look one more time at that landing. As horrible as it is. Horrible. But after the takeoff that we experienced, these passengers are, you know, they done rode in their puke all the way to Page. Because that takeoff, guys, was really, really horrible. Let's see, I'm going to go back and show you this takeoff. Let's see. Replay mode. All right. Okay. All right. Give me a replay. All right. So. All right. Let's get back there. Airport is not. Oh, it's taking a minute to load the scenery. Scenery is not popping in for some reason, but that's okay. We just want to get the replay. Want to get the roll, take off roll. All right, so let's do speed. All right, so yeah. And this, guys, is our takeoff, and look at there. That made me sick, and I got control over the airplane. So gear up. Come on, gear. But yeah, the aircraft was banking, you know, the tries though I made to keep it over the runway. I was having a tough time. I don't know if that might have been a fuel imbalance or what, but it was a rough start. All right, gears finally coming up, and can you imagine being on an airplane and it's doing all of this real low to the ground? Can you imagine? Anyway, that's that. So I do have a treat coming up. There's MU-2 Marquise, who is a real world pilot. I'm gonna leave a link to his channel in the description, and he and I are going to attempt to do a stream where he is going to attempt to help me fly this aircraft the right way. I've watched him fly his several times, and he's awesome at it. and he's really a great YouTube streamer, a great YouTuber. So check him out. Anyway, guys, I am going to end this stream. Get back at the airport that we were at, Page, and let's go ahead and shut down. Let's see. Actually, we can pull up our tablet for the shutdown, right? But when it comes to flying, everything pretty much is learned. And what I'm going to have to do is learn, turn these emissions off, is learn to look at my chat list on these phases of flight. Now, in my defense, I actually snuck up accidentally on my runway. I don't know if there's anything going on with my chat because I seem to have a pretty good crowd of folks looking, viewer activity, and I'm not seeing any chat come in, so maybe it's something wrong with the chat. But anyway, guys, I appreciate those of you who started at the beginning and have watched me fly this aircraft during the crash it. All right, so master radio switches can go off. Actually, it said radio. I turned the avionics off. That's fine. Power can go to ground idle and run stop crank switches, which for some reason for me doesn't tend to work. Can go to stop, hold for 3 seconds, and that should have stopped my right engine, but I guarantee you it's still running. Yep, still running, still got RPMs on it. Let me take the headset off. I need a little engine noise in the background. All right, so, but yeah, all right, so I can never get this to work, and oh, I know what I did wrong. I got an error. There we go. That's what I do. All right. I keep wanting to pull it down like this, and there's an error there's a click spot below it that I need to hold to turn them off. Okay, the engines are dead now. Power levers move to reverse at 60%. Well, we're moving now. Hopefully they'll climb up on the locks. Generators can go off. Well, let's turn these lights off. And all this good stuff can go off. Generators can go off. And let's see what else we got. We got inverter switch can go off. All right, so thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, y'all come back now. You hear?